This is the C&L Dual Exhaust System with the black tip, and it's available for all 2019 to 24 5.7 powered Ram 1500s. Now this is going to be a great option for the Ram owners out there who have the factory duals on their truck already and are just looking to add some more sound to their rigs, along with a full stainless steel build and a more aggressive look, all at an extremely affordable price point. Getting right into the sound here with the C&L bolted up. And again, guys, this is going to be a subtle increase in bark overall for your 5.7, especially when you start comparing this to some of your other more aggressive systems on the site. Now, I don't really think that's a bad thing. In fact, I would say a lot of truck owners out there, myself included, crave just a little bit more sound over the factory exhaust, but don't want to drive the family crazy on long road trips, and you don't really want to set off every car alarm on your block. Now, if that sounds like you also, well then I would absolutely recommend checking out the C&L Catback. Now, breaking out my Wake the Neighbor scale, I'm gonna go strong 2 out of 5 here on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Again, yes, you are getting a little bit more sound. Nobody's gonna confuse this for a stock exhaust system, but at the same time, it does remain pretty mellow outside and even inside the cab while cruising. Now moving into our construction segment, and this could easily be another feature here with the C&L, as it will deliver that full stainless steel build, but at a super affordable price point. Now, majority of your system here is going to be made from that durable 409 grade stainless, including things like the 3-inch and 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing, which does, by the way, lead into and out of your oval muffler here, free-flowing, straight-through design, but with a perforated tube design that maintains that nice deep tone overall. Really dig that muffler construction. Now the tips, on the other hand here, they are gonna exit out of the factory location. These guys are actually made from that premium 304 grade stainless, and in this case, given kind of a stealthy, high temp black finish, which I really dig. But if you're more of a traditionalist, you can grab the same system on the site with a more traditional polished tip instead. Finally, guys, always like to point out the C&L does include hangers in the factory location, does also include quality clamps and hardware needed for a pretty painless install. Moving into our pricing segment, and this is absolutely going to be for the budget-minded Ram owners out there who want to get something that's going to offer a nice stainless steel build, coming in at around that mid $600 price range, which, by the way, is one of the most affordable full stainless catbacks currently available on the site for your 2019 to 24 Ram. All right, switching gears, let's talk about the install. And again, you'll be happy to know that the C&L will be a 100% bolt-on job. So therefore, the site's gonna call this a solid 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about a couple of hours or so to complete from start to finish. And now to give you a better idea of how this one might go down on your newer Ram at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
First install, you need a 3/8 impact and ratchet, 16, 15, and 13 millimeter socket, an exhaust hanger tool, and also not shown be a lift and pull jack. All right, today we're gonna be installing an exhaust on our Ram. First, we're gonna watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock system, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
First step here, we're gonna grab our hanger removal tool and pop the hanger off right above our resonator on our passenger side tailpipe. The driver's side tailpipe is one piece all the way back to the muffler inlet, so we're gonna attack that later. So for right now, we're gonna do this, and I've lubricated it with WD-40. It makes life a little bit easier. All right, next step, grab your ratchet and your 15 millimeter deep socket, and we're gonna loosen up the clamp holding the tailpipe to the rest of the exhaust assembly. All right, hanger's out of position, clamp is loosened up. Let's get this exhaust pipe off. All right, so at this point, we're gonna focus on our driver's side tailpipe. Now, like I said, it's all one piece. I have a pull jack here right behind the resonator just to give it some support once we start disconnecting things. I am gonna remove this tip, however. Removing this tip gives you another foot, maybe foot and a few inches of extra space that you don't have to worry about feeding out of the frame. So we're gonna take this guy off with a 13 millimeter socket. Next, we can pop the hanger out of the isolator using our hanger removal tool right above that resonator. All right, so now we can disconnect the hangers right above the muffler outlet. There's one on each side. Grab your hanger removal tool and get these guys off. Now, as you can see, I have a pole jack here supporting this as well, so we have two different points of support for this exhaust. Now for this one, it's tough to get the hanger removal tool in here, so I'm going to use my pry bar to get this guy off. All right, so next up, we're gonna focus on this flange here. Now you could bypass this and go straight back to the cat, but that's a lot of exhaust to take off in one piece, so I'm gonna separate it here. Now, once we have this taken care of, there is one more hanger to remove, but for now, grab your 16mm socket and disconnect these two bolts. All right, now when you pop this guy out of the hanger isolator, this is all gonna come loose, so you wanna be prepared for that. Before we do so, there's a ground strap here. I'm just gonna disconnect that from the factory tubing. All right, so that way it dangles here and we can reconnect it to our new exhaust later. So now we can grab our hanger removal tool and pop that guy off. All right, now you can take this exhaust off.
So we're gonna start off by putting our muffler assembly up. You'll see it has our 3 hangers on it, our 2 here, one in the front by our flange. We'll get this up in place. So this front hanger first. The 2 in the rear. All right, I'm just gonna need to use my exhaust hanger tool to pop this off, just to help get this on. So up at our flange here, we're gonna be reusing our factory 16mm bolts. We'll get those threaded in. Grab our ratchet 16mm socket and tighten that down. So we're going to continue along on our passenger side here. Now our pipe ends right above the axle here, right above this frame. So we're going to get this up here. I have our clamp already on. So I'm going to get this started and see if we can get it in our isolator at the same time. Go. Make sure that's seated all the way. We can go ahead and get our driver's side installed. So our driver's side is a 2-piece section in the back, so we're gonna get our smaller pipe. I have one of our clamps, so I'm gonna drop it over our muffler section and just get this set in place. All the way down, and we can go ahead and get our second section on. So we just have our last section of pipe here. We're gonna have one of our 2.5-inch clamps. Try getting this in our isolator first, and then sliding the pipe in. All right, so we're gonna grab our impact and 15mm socket and tighten down our clamps just as needed. So we're gonna get this in position and tighten this down. Bring our other clamp up for the driver's side and tighten that down. And then our last clamp on our driver's side here. So the last thing we need to do is put on our tips. We have our tip, we have our black clamps that go along with it. To get this slid on and adjust it to where you want. I'll put ours right about there. Grab your impact 15mm socket and tighten this down. And go ahead and repeat the same thing with the other tip. And that wraps up our install of our C&L Dual Exhaust System with black tips for a rear exit for our 2019 to 24 5.7 liter Ram 1500 with factory dual exhaust. And remember, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.